In a small village by the river, there lived a boy named Ethan. He was born into a well-off family. His father was a government official, and his mother was a gentle and wise woman. From a young age, Ethan was different from other children. He spoke little, never sought attention, and never flaunted his possessions. If someone had a new kite, Ethan would simply watch with a quiet smile instead of rushing to touch it. If his friends bragged about winning a game, he would just nod, without showing admiration or envy. Ethan's father, a man of integrity and wisdom, often told him, "Son, this world is a strange place. The things that make the loudest noise are rarely the most valuable. A truly wise person isn't the one who talks most about themselves, but the one who works quietly without seeking recognition." Ethan remembered these words, though at the time, he was too young to fully understand them. When Ethan was 12, a mysterious old man visited the village. He had a long white beard, kind eyes, but a gaze sharp enough to see through people's hearts. The old man introduced a peculiar game. Each day he would hold out two items, a small silver coin and a shiny gold bar. Any child who joined the game could choose one. If they chose the gold bar, they could take it home immediately. If they chose the silver coin, they could return the next day to play again. The village children were excited. They all dreamed of holding real gold, something they could proudly show off to their friends and families. Everyone scrambled to play. Ethan stood back, watching quietly. He didn't rush to participate, but on the third day, he asked his father for permission to join. His father smiled without giving clear approval or refusal. He only said, "Every game has its rules. But son, remember, you can set your own rules too." When it was Ethan's turn, the old man smiled knowingly. "Choose, boy." In one hand, the old man held the glimmering gold bar, sparkling under the morning sun. In the other, the dull silver coin rested quietly. Without hesitation, Ethan took the silver coin. The other children burst into laughter. "What an idiot! Passing up gold for some worthless silver." The next day, Ethan came back, and again he chose silver, and again the following day. This repeated over and over. Every day he ignored the gold and took only silver. The laughter followed him home each day, with taunts about his foolishness and lack of ambition. But Ethan didn't mind. Each night, he carefully placed the silver coin into an old wooden box under his bed. A month passed. The other children, those who took gold, had stopped playing. Ethan was the only one left, his box getting heavier by the day. The old man smiled at him. "You're the first to come this far." Ethan bowed slightly in thanks, but said nothing more. As Ethan grew older, his quiet ways persisted. When someone in the village built a brand new house, Ethan only smiled. When others boasted about their achievements, Ethan nodded politely, never interrupting, never competing. Once, a wealthy merchant from the city passed through the village and saw Ethan mending fishing nets by the riverbank. "Boy, what do you do every day?" "I do what I need to do." "Don't you want people to know how good you are at what you do?" Ethan only smiled. "If what I do has value, people will know eventually. If it doesn't, no amount of shouting will change that." The merchant was puzzled and left, shaking his head. He didn't know that beneath the wooden floor of Ethan's small home, the old box of silver coins had long since been traded for gold. More than enough for a comfortable life. Yet Ethan never told anyone. At 18, Ethan's father fell gravely ill. Government officials were sent to investigate the family's finances, suspecting hidden wealth. They found no lavish possessions in Ethan's home, but in the corner they discovered the old wooden box, now filled with silver and gold. Where did all this money come from? From quiet choices. The officials were confused, but the villagers remembered the old game and the strange boy who always chose silver. They no longer laughed at him. Instead, they began telling his story to their children, a lesson about patience, quiet perseverance, and the hidden value of silence. After his father's passing, Ethan chose not to follow in his father's footsteps as a government official. Instead, he left the village to open a small shop in a nearby town. There was no flashy sign, no grand opening, no loud announcements. Yet somehow, customers always found their way to his shop. They came because of quiet recommendations. Stories passed from person to person about the humble young shopkeeper who was always fair and honest. One day, the wealthy merchant from years before visited the shop. Now older and even richer, he was stunned to see Ethan behind the counter, weighing goods with the same calm expression. "It's you. I thought you were just a simple boy by the river." "I'm still the same boy. Why not open a big store? Build a famous brand?" "Because I don't need to." "Aren't you afraid people will think you're insignificant?" Ethan smiled. "I don't live my life based on what others think." The merchant laughed heartily. "You're strange, but now I understand. People like you are the ones who go the farthest." True success needs no applause. Years later, when Ethan had quietly built one of the most successful businesses in the region, people still knew little about his wealth. His home remained modest, his clothes plain. People only knew Ethan through stories about the boy who always chose silver coins, the young man who mended nets in silence, and the shopkeeper who built an empire without a single boast. One day, someone asked him, "Why have you never told anyone about your success?" Ethan smiled gently. "Because the most important thing isn't what others think of me. It's whether I'm satisfied with the path I've walked." That simple reply became a lesson told and retold in the village by the river, where a boy named Ethan once quietly gathered silver coins. True success does not need to be announced. True wisdom does not need to be proven. Those who go the farthest often understand the power of silence. They know how to choose silver over gold, how to focus on their work instead of applause, and how to find satisfaction in quiet perseverance rather than fleeting praise. Because sometimes silence is the loudest voice of all.